Action.
Hello, this is Jack again in Plymouth, and this is episode 2 of Majestic Courtesy Calls. Now, so I'd like to introduce you today to a friend of mine, Alex Littleboy, to talk about one or two of his UFO sightings. Would you like to pass the camera to me, Alex?
Of course.
Thank you very much.
Hello. My encounter happened when I was 16 years old, and I was sitting in the back garden with my mother.
What year and when was that, and where was that?
Year? Literally 10 years ago.
And this was in Plymouth?
Yes. And it was a fine summer's day. I remember the sky was really clear, and it was a perfect day. Basically, that was another thing that was so strange about it. And my mother was hanging out the washing, and I was just sitting around in the garden. And I noticed something in the sky almost immediately. That it didn't seem that far away. It was kind of like the distance of, what kind of distance? Like I can't measure that. But yeah, it was quite close enough to see as if it was like a small plane, a distance of a sort of small plane in the sky. So it was clearly visible, and it was the object that I saw was it was a metallic shape, similar to there's a game called jacks, and there's these little things, and you have to throw a metal ball at. It was basically like one of these jacks, and it was slowly spinning in the sky, just slowly sort of moving in that pace. And the more I looked at it, because I didn't believe what I was looking at, I thought it might have been some strange weather balloon or something, but it wasn't moving as if the wind was moving it. It was moving under its own propulsion somehow. Yet I could see no evidence of how it could have been propelled, and it looked kind of it looked solid at the same time. So I didn't think it was a balloon. It looked absolutely solid, like a.
What do you mean exactly by that when you say computer-generated object?
Not as if it was being projected, but as if it was. It's because of the surface. It's because it was shimmering. It was very smooth. There was no texture, other than it was a metallic colour. Basically, there was a texture, the colourful texture, but there was no marks on it. It was completely clean.
It was perfect, in other words.
Yeah, it was basically like a metal jack, but without any indication that it had a real its surface. As I said, the surface was completely smooth. And as I watched it, I just couldn't believe it, because it was just. I kept trying to think, in what way is this not? How could this not be real? And how could it have been, fake, like a projection or something like that? And it just seemed too real. There was no evidence. I couldn't see anything that suggested that it wasn't some sort of strange, floating object. It was very, very strange. And then I went to my mother and I said, "Look, it's a UFO." And because I wanted to know what she thought of it. Basically, the strange thing is when I was staring at it, because I suffer from migraines, and I usually get migraines on very bright days, but I got them occasionally, and usually when I had them, in this case I had one, and while I was staring at this object, that was what was strange. light that was refracting off it. But I don't have, I don't always have migraines on some days. That's just kind of rare. So I went blind in one eye, and then during my migraines I go completely blind. So while this UFO was in the sky, even though as much as I wanted to stay and watch it, I had to hurry inside and sleep, or sleep in a dark room so I could recover from the migraine. But it was very strange that it triggered at that moment a migraine. Yet usually I'm under a lot of stress when I have migraines. I'd go running or cycling. I used to cycle a lot in those days, but I still can't really explain what I saw.
How long would you say this whole thing lasted until you went back inside?
15 minutes, 15 minutes.
Right.
That's my UFO experience.
Fantastic. And I believe you also mentioned that you saw something in Wales once.
Yeah. I wasn't so strange, but it was. Well, I've only really seen it was like it was during daytime. And it was a bright object that was very far away from me in the sky, and it was like a saucer shape, but it was entirely made of light. It was just kind of hovering there.
In broad daylight?
It was very cloudy. So yeah, I didn't find, all my other experiences have been nowhere near as convincing as the one I saw originally. But in the case of the one I saw in Wales, I couldn't explain it. It wasn't,
Well, that's part of the thing with UFOs, is they come in all shapes and sizes, and while we might see one that is, structured, metallic, and say, yes, that's it, they do indeed, manifest as plasmid-like, intelligently controlled structures. They come in all kinds of shapes and sizes, so it wouldn't surprise me if that was of a similar provenance.
Yeah, I don't think I could explain what I saw. It was quite a distance away. Yeah, it was still strange. It didn't move. It just floated there, which was a bit sort of. I watched it for a while, but I just sort of ended up walking away. It was just kind of like, I had things to do.
Right. Yes, time stops for no bug-eyed green Martian. And what, if you had to guess, what would you say it's all about? What's going on?
I have no idea. I mean, I know Plymouth is like, I know aircraft is tested in Plymouth, so there's always the one explanation that it was some sort of experimental aircraft, which I find almost as preposterous as the idea that it might be like an alien spaceship.
A Metal Gear.
Well, it is an alien object because we do not know what it is. So I look at it in a common sense form. I don't pretend to think that it came from anywhere because I have no evidence. So I simply have my own ponderances.
Well, Alex, thank you very much.